A police officer has just arrived at an accident scene but finds no one in the car. The scene cuts to Jamie, who has been kidnapped and is nursing injured ribs. Jamie is worried about where she is and also about her son, Michael. When Jamie starts screaming for help, the kidnapper turns on the shower to let water fall over her. He then informs her that no one can hear her because of the noise outside. Additionally, the glass has been reinforced, and they've taken her shoes and jewelry for her safety. When asked, Jamie responds that she was with her husband Kevin at the airport and that someone attacked them, but she can't remember the flight number. Her only concern at that moment is her diabetic son, who needs insulin. Jamie then tries to move toward a hole in the window, but because she is weak, she falls. Hours later, Jamie's food arrives, and as she approaches it, she tries to stick her hand through the hole in the door. However, the man grabs her arm and warns her not to do it again. Inside her food, there are 2 photos to show that Michael is alive, and if she cooperates the next day, she will get more. Then Jamie tries to listen to what the men are saying but is interrupted by one of them, who says that if she answers some questions, she and her son can leave. Jamie responds that she doesn't know where Kevin was, but when Alex squeezes her ribs, she says that Kevin was coming from Detroit. He explains that the reason she is there is because her husband owed them money, but Jamie insists they have no money. However, Alex reveals that Kevin is not who she thinks he is, as he works for them. Jamie tries to explain that there must be some mistake, but after Alex shares everything he knows about Kevin's life and family, Jamie becomes frightened. He then reveals that a major deal involving heroin took place at a winery, with the participation of 3 cartels, each sending their own man. What they know is that Kevin emptied the buyer's account and sent the money somewhere else, but he still can't leave the country until they find a way to make the money untraceable. The stolen amount was $40 million, and they believe Jamie knows something. Hours later, Jamie hears Michael calling her, and Alec hands her a tape proving that Michael is still alive. Jamie thanks him and says she's going to need clean clothes. Moments after Jamie takes a shower, she starts listening to tapes with some recordings of Michael. Jamie then records a tape for the police, providing some information. She places the tape in a plastic bag, and just as she is about to drop it into the sewer, she is grabbed. Jamie realizes that Michael's recording wasn't made there. When Jamie asks Alec where he got that tape, he throws several tapes at her and explains that her house is full of listening devices. He also mentions that the boss will have a meeting with a Swiss banker, and he's the only one who can launder all the money without leaving any traces. He only comes to the country once a year, which is why the money needs to be there. Jamie keeps insisting that she knows nothing. Kevin used to talk to them in code inside the house, and now he wants Jamie to listen to the tapes and let him know if she finds anything unusual. And if she manages to help, she and Michael will be set free, but Jamie doesn't know if Michael is still alive. So, Alec brings the boy, but Jamie, in anger, says she's going to kill him. Alec strikes her, and after he threatens Michael, she promises to help. Minutes later, Jamie remembers the day Kevin was traveling to Detroit. At that moment, Jamie hears the criminals outside who had captured one of Kevin's partners. After that, Jamie continues listening to the tapes to see if she can find something. And later, Jamie hears Michael in the next room, so she makes a hole in the wall to take a look. After the 2 guys leave, Jamie grabs the cigarette, and suddenly she sees Kevin's partner being killed right in front of the door. Before getting caught, Jamie puts the cigarette back into the hole and closes it. As Alec enters the room, he says he saw what Jamie did through the cameras. Then he takes the cigarette back, and before leaving, he informs them that they have 9 more hours to recover the money, and remind Jamie that she doesn't know her husband and that he has no idea how dangerous he is. Jamie remembers the night Kevin gave her a ring and a necklace as a wedding anniversary gift, even though she had said they weren't going to spend any more money. Jamie goes back to listening to all the tapes, and suddenly she discovers something. But Alex says it's not enough and that she needs to find more for him to take Michael to her. At that moment, police sirens are heard and Alec leaves the room. Jamie manages to free her arm and puts a wet piece of paper inside the intercom of the room. While Alec is trying to distract the police officer outside, Wraith is with Jamie to make sure she doesn't do anything. And as Jamie placed the paper on the intercom, smoke starts to come out, and this will activate the sprinkler, but nothing happens because of what Jamie did. Then they bring Michael in, and Alec informs that the amount of insulin he's putting in will kill Michael in just 3 minutes. He will only save Michael's life if she tells him where the money is. So, Jamie gives the location of the bank where the money is, and it's 1 hour away from there. Jamie tries to hint at an intimate moment with Wraith to bring Michael, but she ends up failing. She realizes she needs to do more things to get out of there, so she goes back to listening to more tapes. This time, she discovers a riddle and writes everything in a notebook. Suddenly, Wraith returns with Michael and says the boy stopped responding, but Jamie gives him an injection to save the child, who asks to go home. Wraith then tells her to take a shower and that he will be back in 10 minutes. When Wraith returns for them to have an intimate moment, Jamie bends down but ends up vomiting. She manages to grab his gun, tells him to open the door, but he asks her to shoot. However, on the first attempt, it fails, and later she manages to shoot and take his key. When she is running away, he manages to grab her by the leg, and just as he is about to get intimate, Alec pulls him into a corner and finishes him off with a shot. The next day, when Jamie wakes up, Alec informs her that the address she gave didn't exist. Furthermore, all the codes on the tape were lies. Jamie begs him to take Michael to her sister's house, but Alec refuses and only gives her a tape to listen to Michael's voice. Jamie recalls some moments and manages to associate them with Michael's bracelet. She then asks Alec to check if the bank account is on Michael's bracelet. Jamie then enters the bank's website, and to their surprise, the site will go under maintenance in 7 minutes and won't return for another 12 hours. She tries twice to enter the number but remembers that Michael's bracelet was swapped before the trip. Alec manages to call and get the account number, pretending to be Kevin's father. Now they need the password. Jamie makes a few attempts and only has one chance left. She then remembers the song her son used to sing while taking a bath and manages to access the account. But to Alec's surprise, there is more than $40 million, and Jamie finds out that the account was opened in her name on the day of their wedding. One of the men informs that the police have arrived, and then Alec asks to bring Michael and Jamie and have them stay under the table while she transfers the money. While Jamie tries to transfer it, a police officer enters the room asking what is under the table, and Alec says that it's just paper. So he grabs a box and goes with the officers to show the other rooms. Meanwhile, time is running out for Jamie to make the transfer, but before the site goes offline, Jamie manages to complete the transfer. At that moment, the officer returns to the room, and as he crouches down, he sees Jamie and Michael. Suddenly, Alec shoots at the officer. When Alec is leaving the room with Michael, Jamie says that she changed the password to his account, and she will only give him the password if he takes Michael to her sister's house. She promises she will call her sister saying she was kidnapped, but she won't reveal their identities. To make sure Michael doesn't tell anyone what happened, she warns him that if he does, they will hurt her. Moments later, Jamie calls her sister and gives the information that she was kidnapped, lying about the description of the criminals. After hanging up the phone, Jamie is informed by Alec that Kevin killed his wife and also his son, whose name was Cody. This makes Jamie remember what she heard on the tape about the Cody project, which was worth $4 million, and that's why there were another $4 million in his account, because he was hired to kill Alec's wife and son. He informs her that Falco has arrived, and when he leaves, Jamie takes the opportunity to grab the police officer's phone from under the table to contact the police. At this moment, Falco enters the room and says that Kevin has always had good taste when choosing women. However, she informs Jamie that she won't leave there alive and that Michael will only remember her face and Alex. As she continues to terrorize Jamie, Jamie's phone starts to beep, and Falco realizes she contacted the police. Then she orders Alec to kill Jamie. While preparing, one of the guys asks Falco where she will transfer the $44 million, and she says she will divide it, with $4 million going to Alec. And then, at that moment, he quickly turns around and shoots the men in the room, and right after that, he also finishes off Falco. Suddenly, Alec is shot by a few bullets, and then Kevin appears, but Jamie says that she already knows everything about him. He tries to lie, saying that he works for the feds and that Jamie needs to help transfer the money. And when Jamie tells him that she knows he opened an account in her name on their wedding day and also that he works for Falco, he threatens her if she doesn't give him the password. In that moment, Jamie grabs a piece of the chair and hits Kevin, which allows her to take his gun and then fire several times at Kevin. After that, Alec says that Jamie has to find the 3 cartels to distribute the $30 million and his $4 million. She can stay to escape with Michael, then the police arrive and Jamie meets with Michael and they hug. In the end, Jamie calls one of the cartel guys and he wants to meet her in person, but she denies and says she has something he wants. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next ones. Thanks for watching.